Competition obedience is a great way to sharpen your skills as a professional dog trainer. You don't have to compete, but it is good to practice working on precision type obedience. Of course, you can always compete if you want to see how you and your dog would do up against other competitive dog training teams, which many are professional dog trainers with exceptional skills. If you can get good at competition obedience, it will make pet obedience seem significantly easier. Today we'll be teaching our dogs the stick jump. This is a fun, simple, straightforward command that we can later use to help teach the broad jump for the AKC obedience competitive routine. The goal is to have your dog jump over a stick that you're holding in your hand. We're going to break the training down into 5 steps. Speaking of, if you and your dog are an active team, then I would suggest considering pet insurance. Actually, even the couch potatoes should be covered as well. If you've been thinking about pet insurance but haven't decided on a company, then Prudent Pet Insurance may be for you. They're the ultimate option to make sure your 4-legged family member is covered and protected. Their pet insurance plans cover a variety of needs for your pet with tons of customizable options. They have a 30-day money-back guaranteed. They're #1 rated pet insurance on Trustpilot. They have a 24/7 veterinarian chat, and if you sign up through the link in the description, you'll get 5% off. First, you want to make sure your dog knows a climb command or a place command. This is going to help teach your dog where you want them to go when they make the jump or when they are waiting to jump. Next, we'll teach our dogs the act of jumping. We'll start low and gradually increase the height as the dog starts to understand the concept. To minimize mistakes, we'll have a lower pole that will prevent the dog from trying to go under the pole that you're holding. If you have extra space, then it would be worthwhile to set up a jump chute as demonstrated by the Tom Rose School in a past video on this channel. Once the dog knows how to jump, then we can start teaching the command. If the dog likes to jump, which many do, they'll jump the moment you say the command. Even though it may seem like they know the command, many will jump out of the excitement or just from being released from the climb or place stay. Just make sure that you do this step as many times as it takes. Now that the dog can jump, we'll start throwing a toy as the dog is jumping. This will teach the dog to jump straight, which will prevent the dog from jumping closer to the handler. This is keeping reward placement in mind. For example, if we reward the dog with the treat when they jump, then they may jump very close to us, anticipating the reward. This is why it's better to throw a toy. However, you can also have the dog go to the other climb or place command and reward them there with the food after they jump. Last, we'll start holding the pole when the dog jumps, gradually increasing the height and eventually removing the bottom bar and the jumps altogether. Let's go ahead and get started. First thing you want to do is get your training area set up. So you can see I have the jump in the center, and on each side I have a bowl. So I'm going to be using the place command. You could also use the climb command, a platform that you have on each side. This is going to give the dog a target to go to when they jump, and it's going to make it much easier as we're training our dogs. Now, if you want, you can do what the Tom Rose School does and set up a jump chute. That's going to help teach the dog how to jump, but we're just using some basic PVC pipes for today. Now, I'm not all the way up against the fence, but if you have a wall that you could train up against, it will help prevent the dog from trying to go around the jump, which we don't want them to do. We want to make sure they do the jump. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take Ari and I'm going to place her on her bowl. Ari, place. So now she's on her bowl, and this is going to be a nice area for her to head to after she does each jump. Now, the way that I like to teach a dog at first when they're jumping is I make sure that the jump is very low, and then I will go over the jump and call the dog to me. So I'll stand nice and close if I need to, call the dog and back off. You could also run and jump it and call your dog with a very excited voice, something that you might do with a puppy, but since she's pretty well trained and a lot of your dogs will probably be pretty well trained as well, this should be an easy process. So we call our dog, all right, come here, baby. Good girl. She makes the jump and goes right to her other place bowl. And again, we go back over. Come on, Ari. Good. And they follow us and they'll do the jump same way we do. Alternatively, the other option, like I said, if you have a puppy or a dog that may not be as obedient as Ari, then you can run and call them to you. So you can go, come on, let's go, let's go. Good girl. And they'll run and do the jump with you. When I start having the dog jump, now once we know we can get the dog to do the jump without it being in our hand, now we can start adding a command. since I'm going to be holding the jump pretty much right here when she goes and makes the jump, I want to get her used to seeing my body in the same position it's going to be close to when we do the jump. So I'm going to stand right here. I'm going to tell her to do the command, and then I'm going to move with her to encourage her to continue going forward and not turning around back towards me. If we reward our dog when they do the jump and we reward them right next to us, what ends up happening is the dog will jump, but they'll jump very close to us. We want to make them jump as straight as possible, so this is going to help with that. So I'm going to tell her, jump, and then I'm going to run with her all the way to the climb platform, and then I'm going to give her a couple treats. Place. And then I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. Jump. Good girl. And I run with her to the place bowl. Again, teaching her that when she makes the jump, that she doesn't just, come on, Ari, place. That she doesn't just turn right directly to me, but she has a target or a location that she's headed to. Again, the climb command works really well for this. So we want to continue doing this as many times as it takes to where we can just stand here and give our dog the command and they'll do the jump. Once she completes the jump, I have two different options. At least these are the two different options that I like to do. Either A, I'll go over and I'll give her a reward on the place bowl like I have been doing, or B, I'll throw a toy. So I'm going to demonstrate both of them, and I like to move after she's already committed to the jump. Jump! And then I'll go with her to the place bowl and give her some treats. Now the other option is we take a toy. When we throw the toy, we want to throw it on an angle away from us, not close to us. And same thing, when she commits to the jump, that's when I'm going to throw the toy. Then I'm going to play with her for a second. So again, we stand in the same position and we tell our dog, jump. And then we throw the toy. Good girl, very nice. She comes over, we play a little bit of tug. Good. And then I tell her, place. Out. And then I can take the toy back. Once your dog is pretty confident with this portion of the training, then we can increase the height. I like to increase the height before I ask the dog to do the jump when I'm just holding the stick. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take it and we're gonna increase the height, but I'm going to leave the bottom bar, especially in the beginning, because I wanna prevent her from trying to go underneath. We don't want our dogs to go underneath. If you increase the height too quickly and you don't have a bar underneath, it's quite possible your dog will just go directly underneath the bar. So same thing, first time, since it's at the beginning, I'm gonna jump over it, then I'm gonna call her to me, or again, I could just walk over and call her, come on, Ari. Very good. Place. So we're basically doing the same thing that we did before, showing our dog that they can go over it. Come on, Ari. Yeah, nice job. Place. So now we're gonna go back to where we stand next to the jump. We give our dog the command. When they commit, we run with them to the place bowl. All right, jump. Good, very good. Now on the next one, I'm gonna demonstrate using the toy. Same thing, when our dog commits, we throw the toy. We don't wanna throw the toy if the dog ends up going around, because then we would be rewarding them for the wrong behavior. All right, jump. Very good. Good job, Ari. So now we're going to do a little bit of play. Very good. Good. Ari, out, center. Excellent. Place. Out. Thank you, dear. Now that we have that, the next step, and again, do a lot of reps with each one of these. You want to make sure your dog fully understands it. So I've been working on this before with her. I did a little bit more yesterday as a refresher, but we want to make sure that we spend a good amount of time on each step. Don't rush the process. Now what we're going to do is we're going to remove the top bar, and now we're going to start holding the bar. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to hold it about at the same position that the top bar was in. When she jumps it, I'm just going to set it down and I'm going to go reward her at the place bowl the same way I was doing it earlier. All right, jump. Good girl, very nice. A little bit of praise. If you want, you can use a marker. I'm just using verbal praise and taking my time with it. She understands it pretty well. So whatever you want to do with your own dog. So as the dog jumps, we could mark. I'll give you an example. All right, jump, free. So right there I said free as she did the jump, which for the dogs that I train, place. That's their terminal marker, which means release and reward. After you've done a handful of those, then we can remove the bottom bar. We want to keep the two vertical bars in place, and then we're going to take the bar that we're using for the jump. When I first do it, I'm going to keep it low to prevent my dog from going underneath. All right, jump. Good girl. And I'm going to walk with her again to the place bowl. You can see how she's starting to turn a little bit as she makes the jump because she wants to get the reward from me. But again, our dogs learn through predictability and pattern recognition. If she knows every time she makes the jump, I give her the reward either in place over by the bowl, or I throw the toy, then she'll stop thinking of coming towards me after she does the jump. Now, when I first start having the dog jump and I have the bar a little bit higher, after I say the command, I lower the bar a little bit. So I keep it up and then I lower it. The reason why I do that is so the dog thinks that there's a possibility I'm going to lower the bar, which will, in a sense, help prevent the dog from going underneath. All right, jump. Very good, Ari. Excellent. So she's doing really well. After we've done this for a little bit of time, then we can remove the outside bar. You could put it next to it like I'm doing right there, or you can take it out of the training area completely. And now I'm going to stand here. Same thing. I'm going to hold the bar low and I'm going to tell her to jump. Good girl. She jumps. She's turning a little bit and coming towards me. So with that being said, with her, I'd probably do a little bit more of throwing the toy. I'm not going to throw the toy because that takes extra time right now. For instructional purposes, I'm going to be using mostly food. But for your own dog, if you start to see that turn like she's starting to do, then you'd want to use more toys for the training and less treats. All right, so now I'm going to increase the height a little bit. All right, jump. Good girl. Very nice. Excellent. Again, I'm just using verbal praise. Now when we feel like, all right, go place, please. Now that I feel like she's doing pretty well, I'm going to remove the two vertical bars. I'm going to take them out of the shot, and now I'm going to stand in the same spot. I'm going to keep the two bowls on each side. I would recommend keeping those for a while, or your climb platforms there for a good amount of time, so your dog really builds up the habit of making a nice straight jump. All right, jump. Very good. That's my good girl. And now I'm going to do one with the toy one last time. When we start teaching our dogs, all right, place please. When we start teaching our dogs the broad jump, we can use the stick jump to help prevent the dog from walking on top of the broad jump when we start working towards our AKC open competitive obedience routine. So again, we're going to use the toy on this one. Hold it out, and we're going to tell her, all right, jump. Very good. Good job, my Ari. Good job. So we're going to have her do a little tug, and then we're going to do a Ari out, center, and then center command. Oh, good girl. Ari out, and then we're going to take her into heel, and then heel, attack. Good. I hope everyone enjoyed today's video. If you want one-on-one help, I do offer in-person lessons as well as Zoom training sessions. If you want to support the channel, you can by liking, subscribing, hitting that notification bell, becoming a patron, or ordering one of my dog training manuals. You could also get a shirt or shop at either of my stores on my website. And last, sharing these videos helps me very much to continue to grow this channel to help more dogs and more people. Thanks again, and I will see everyone next week.